Once again, you're all welcome to our Global Fishing Watch Products webinar, seeing which Global Fishing Watch products are right for you. My name is Zia, and I'm the Technical Success Manager for our APIs here at Global Fishing Watch. I'm here today with my team, where we are on the product team, and we build and maintain a wide array of products tailored to meet the diverse needs of our users globally. Today, I have the pleasure of moderating the session, where we will be exploring Global Fishing Watch's suite of products, showcasing their features and impacts across various industries like academia, governance, fisheries management, and marine conservation. It is wonderful to see all of you here joining us from diverse places, and we look forward to a dynamic and engaging discussion with all of you. So yes, I believe we can begin now, and I'm pleased to introduce our panelists for today. We have here Anna Sanders, who is our Product Development Director, and we have Matt Gamri, who's the Head of Products, and we have Shivella Morinigo, who's our Senior Product Manager for Open Data here at Global Fishing Watch. With that introduction, I'll now turn it over to Anna to begin our presentation. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Ya, for the introduction. Next slide, please. Global Fishing Watch is an international nonprofit organization. We were established in 2017 and co-founded by Google, SkyTruth, and Oceana. We have staff in over 25 countries and support users in over 200 countries around the world. Our work supports the greater transparency, scientific research, and sustainable use of our ocean, reduction of illegal fishing, and generally looking to see how we can expand to all ocean issues. Next slide. Our mission is to advance ocean governance through increased transparency of human activity at sea. We work with governments and policy bodies all over the world to increase the transparency of openness of their data, including vessel tracking data such as vessel monitoring system, VMS, vessel registries, and license lists. We create and publicly share this data and information through our map and data and technologies, and partner with global research institutions to develop new science to transform how we manage our oceans. Next slide. The Global Fishing Watch map is the first open access online visualization tool for doing this analysis of vessel-based human activity at sea. We're powered by satellite technology, machine learning, and AI. We merge all of that data and information in our map with multiple types of vessels tracking data to provide a view of global human activity at sea, including apparent fishing effort activity, encounters between vessel, night light detections, and vessel presence from other satellite technologies. Anyone with an internet connection can access the map to monitor global fishing activity from events from 2012 all the way to 72 hours ago. We strive to make our platform and technology as easy to use as possible for both experts and non-experts alike, and we're committed to continuing to improve our products based on your feedback. So this is the group that can respond and help make those tools and technologies accessible for you. And thanks to our philanthropic and government funders, we make our tools available for free. Next slide. As I mentioned, our data is based on a combination of different satellite data sources. There is not a one-fit solution for vessel tracking. And so when we look to combine multiple sources, we can provide greater insight into tracking and detecting both large and small vessel activity. Automatic Identification System, or AIS, is used to track vessel positions all over the world to avoid collisions at sea. This is roughly about 65,000 vessels, and they're typically industrial vessels. However, not all vessels are required to have AIS transponders, and even those that do have AIS on board can switch off, manipulate to provide misleading data about their locations. And some parts of the ocean are so dense that you can actually not detect individual signals. So there can be some satellite coverage issues there. We call vessels that we can't see an AIS signal dark vessels. Other technologies can be used to help detect those dark vessels, including radar, which can penetrate through clouds, night light detection, which can pick up the presence of fishing activity that use lights to attract fish and conduct night operations. Optical imagery, which is high resolution data to identify smaller vessels, but can't see through clouds. We also are exploring other technologies such as radio frequency, which can be used to detect vessel equipment on board vessels. All of these different data sources can be combined to reveal a more complete picture of fishing activity. Next slide. The data that we visualize or make available on our products includes the following: apparent fishing effort. This is based on AIS and VMS data to create high resolution maps of the apparent fishing activity from vessels. A vessel database that has been combined to connect vessel transmissions to over 30 public vessel registries and license lists, and trying to increase that to include more vessel and license lists. Detections of vessels not broadcasting AIS or VMS using satellite imagery from Sentinel-1, Sentinel-2, Planet, and RadarSat-2 data. Events identified by vessel activity, including fishing, encounters, loitering, and intentional AIS disabling. And vessel insights, which are based on an aggregation of vessel identity and activity trends to support identifying compliance history, authorization, and ultimately supporting our users in identifying better decisions, including due diligence actions. Now I'll pass it over to Matt and Gisela, who will guide us through the platform and our data products.
Thank you, Anna. Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Gummery, and I'm the head of product at Global Fishing Watch. I'm going to be talking about some of our platform. And what I'd like to reinforce at the beginning of this session is that as all of our platform tools and data is available for free for non-commercial use, we give everything away for free. It's really important that we have feedback that helps us understand where and how we can help and improve both our platform and our data to support your needs. So that's essentially our process to improve our data quality, to build innovative features, and to drive this cycle of continuous improvement. As we're going through our tools and our data today, it would be great if you have that in mind and you think about areas that we could improve and could work on to better suit your needs in your working life. So first, I'd like to briefly explain about how to get there, how to access our tools. So you can go to globalfishingwatch.org and you can click along the top of the screen on map and data, and then you'll get a drop down of our different tools and resources that are available to you, as well as a homepage for each of the products to get a little bit more detail and understand whether it might be right for your needs. We have a range of different products that are suited to slightly different audiences. So we have our primary public Global Fishing Watch map. That's our kind of flagstone open access online tool to look at dynamic activity and compare it with different sources of information. We have our Marine Manager portal that's more geared towards marine protected area design, management, and implementation, and specifically how we can combine human activity information with other biological and oceanographic environmental data to support better understanding and maritime domain awareness. Then we have our Vessel Viewer tool, and this is more around the vessel identity and activity information. So providing the ability to do a historical analysis of where a vessel has been, its identity information, whether that's changed over time, and what that vessel may have been doing over time as well. And then we have our Carrier Vessel portal that shows information about potential transshipments between different vessels focused on carrier vessels and fishing vessels. So we have different ways of looking at our data that are supporting different kind of use cases and different fields. Anna showed you at the beginning that graph that was talking about the different data sources that we can combine to provide a holistic picture of what's going on at sea. So each data has its own intricacies, its own strengths, and its own weaknesses. And Global Fishing Watch's strength is being able to combine those different data sources in one view to try and build the pieces of the puzzle together and get a full picture of what's happening. So we have those different layers of information that you can combine and start to fill in that puzzle and understand what's going on. When you enter the Global Fishing Watch map, you'll see three main areas of the screen. You've got the sidebar on the left that shows you all the different layers of information that you can build up onto the map. You've got the main map of the screen that shows this heat map of currently apparent fishing effort, showing where the high areas of density and the high areas of fishing are taking place. But that will show all of your different layers as well. And you can click into any grid cell of information to get more detail. So on the screen at the moment, I've clicked into an area off the African coastline, and you can see which vessels are fishing there. You can load more identity information about those, and you can load their tracks as well to see a little bit more history about those vessels. And really importantly, Global Fishing Watch has dynamic data. So we have data going all the way back to 2012 and all the way up to 3 days ago, which we call near real time. So along the bottom of the screen, you can see this time bar with a start and an end bar that you can drag to change your time range. You can pick between specific dates of interest, or you can see the full Global Fishing Watch data set that's available as well. This is an example of our vessel viewer tool showing a vessel profile. And so here you can see all of the information that we have from those publicly available registry sources. We've combined that with the AIS information that we get from the vessel itself to try and give you the best picture of a vessel's identity information, ownership, authorization, so where it's authorized to do certain activities like fishing or transshipments, and flag states, names, as well as previous information that may have been associated with that vessel. Then in the vessel profile, you have tabs that are summarizing the different activity that we've detected in that vessel's track, areas talking about where that vessel's been active, any related vessels that that vessel may have met over the course of its activity, and more recently, specific insights about that vessel, whether we may have detected apparent fishing effort in a no-take MPA, whether we may have detected other changes in identity information that may be more useful to pull out into specific insights around a vessel. Any area within the Global Fishing Watch platform can be used to create what we call a dynamic report. And that is a quick way to understand over your time range of interest, who is active within a certain area and what might they be doing. So you can quickly load a summary of the activity over time, which flags are present in that area, and specific vessels that are active as well. So you can load information around those tracks. You can also combine that with some more advanced features, like on the right-hand side of the screen, we have what we call this before-after mode. And so we know that certain events in time may be interesting to understand around vessel activity. The easy example is what happens when a marine protected area is implemented. Does fishing actually reduce in that area? And if so, where does it displace to? So on the map, on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the line of activity drops drastically after the implementation date of that marine protected area. And on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see that blue and red heat map that's showing blue for where activity has decreased over the time range you're looking at, but also red as to where it's increased. We know that when there are management changes on the ocean, that activity doesn't just stop, it tends to displace to other areas. And this helps to give you the full picture of where activity may be moving over time, so you can better understand patterns in human activity. Within the Marine Manager portal, we've recently added a layer library of biological and oceanographic data sets that you can combine with Global Fishing Watch human activity data. You can move between layers like bathymetry, oceanographic variables like chlorophyll A concentration, sea surface temperature, or specific habitat layers like corals, mangroves, and other layers that can be combined to provide you a better picture of activity and how it relates to oceanographic and biological features. We're trying to take out some of the hard work. Often this needs to happen in other kind of mapping tools where you have to know about all the different data formats and work to get them into the same map and into the same time of interest. We're trying to remove some of that burden so we can just quickly, with the click of a button, add in layers of information that might be useful to you. And we're also supporting dynamic filtering of those layers. So on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see us filtering sea surface temperature and salinity to see certain variables and where they're both met. This might be interesting related to certain marine taxa. For example, turtles tend to exist within areas where there's a surface temperature of around about 18 plus degrees Celsius. You can start to build up the variables and see where, okay, human activity may overlap with the movement of these migratory species. What other use cases as well? This is a relatively new feature, and we'd love to hear your kind of requests and examples of other information that might be useful for you. Lastly, I'll just say that we have a lot of supporting information to help you in your journey with the Global Fishing Watch platform. We have a user guide that's available in 5 languages, FAQs, video tutorials, and the ability to provide bespoke training sessions, whether that's on a call or in person as well. We know that we invest a lot in this ease of use and this design because we know that as a free platform, lots of people have access to these tools. But we want to do as much as possible to try and reduce the barriers to getting the information you need, the data you need, any kind of outputs that can support your decision making in your job. We'd love to hear how we can further help, but we do have a lot of supporting resources available for the meantime. Okay, I'll pass over to Gisela, who's going to talk a little bit more about our APIs and our data downloads.
Thank you, Matt. Yes, my name is Gisela Morinillo. I'm speaking from Argentina. So as a product manager that is focused on the open data, I will be giving you some details about our technical products. So our API portal was released in July 2022. The goal was to centralize API access, empowering our developers, researchers, and technical stakeholders to easily access our platform regularly updated data. Also, as an ongoing effort to support our scientific development, we introduced an ARP wrapper for the APIs. That's the CFW wrapper. And last, but not certainly least, we have the data and downloads. It's our portal that offers static files such as CSV or TIFF format of our published papers and code. And some of these files are updated less frequently, typically monthly or annual basis. So starting on the APIs are the foundation of our products. They serve as the cornerstone of our product ecosystem, powering essential platforms like the map and Marine Manager, among others that Matt just mentioned. So behind the scenes, all the data displaying these products is accessible through the APIs. And as a way to respond to our user requests, we have chosen to make some of these API available in the API portal. So today we have 4 APIs, vessel API that has vessel information from IAES and from public registries. We have the 4Winds API that provides gridded IAES apparent fishing effort data. We have the Events API that retrieves different vessel events like the encounter and the fishing events. And we have the Vessel Insight API. Our aim is to eventually incorporate all or at least the majority of the data available in that platform. So again, your feedback here is crucial to make sure that we can make publish the data sets that are useful for you. So our goal by publishing our data is to transform role collaboration. We want to enhance the accessibility of our data, allowing partners to seamlessly integrate our data with other data sources for researching and monitoring human impacts across the world ocean. So just to give you some examples, here we have the IES fishing effort that we have in the map and Marine Manager. And behind that layer that you see, we have the 4Winds API. as well as in Vessel Viewer, we have information about the vessels, and behind this platform, we have the Vessel API and the Events API, as well as some examples with partners. For example, for the World Resource Institute, they have developed the Resource Watch platform, which is a dynamic platform that leverages technology, data, and human networks to bring transparency about the planet. So we support the World Resource Institute in understanding the fishing effort as one of the human influence pressures on ocean ecosystem. And for that, they are connecting with our using our fishing effort data. So behind the platform, you can see the Four Winds API, which has been added as one data layer in their catalog. As another example, we have SDG Today. SDG Today features real-time and timely data on sustainable development goals and offers educational resources to support countries, institutions, and civil society members to produce, share, and engage with the data to help meet the goals by 2030. So with behind the SDG platform, you can see the Four Winds API that is retrieving the fishing effort data in order to support, as part of the SDG 14, the life below water. And this is just a few examples of what we can do with with our APIs. And as mentioned before, they are publicly available, free, and for non-commercial use. And last, I would like to explain some differences between these technical products. We will send, after this webinar, we will send a document with the full detail of regarding the data. But just for you to give you some context, the main purpose for the API portal is to make sure that you have all the documentation about our APIs, and you can access our data programmatically. So currently we are in the version 3, and you can, using our APIs, filter and access the data with different criteria. The CFR is our R package, as I mentioned before, is based on the API. At this moment, is using the API version 2. So there are some differences in what you can get from the R package and the API portal, but we are working in updating this during these months to make sure that is in sync with the version 3. And the data download portal, it provides the static files for our published papers, DOI included, as well as other data sets that are updated less frequently, usually monthly or annual basis. And at this moment, we still don't have options to filter, for example, that data. Regarding data format, on the API portal, we have JSON, CSV, all of those that are mentioned there. In their package, obviously, we have the native R results that you can use, and after you can save to other formats. And in the data download portal, we have the CSV and the TIFF. Regarding data delay, this is why we are going to be sending a detailed document. It depends of the data set. So in the API portal, in general, everything related to IAS is from 2012 until 72 hours ago. Regarding the public registry data, is from 2019 until 2 months ago. And from Vessel Insights, from 2020 until 72 hours ago. Obviously, the R package is the same as the API, and for the data downloads, for the static data for the papers, those are not updated, but then the other ones, they have different frequency. So again, on this detailed document, you will see the specific of each data set. And in order to understand the use case from each of them, the API portal is meant for developers, so stakeholders with technical background that can integrate our APIs and get real-time data into their platform or for download. Their package is focused more for researchers, our users that don't have API experience, but they want to make sure that they get up-to-date information. And the data download is more for stakeholders or researchers who want to cite more stable data sources for their publications. So again, we will be sending more details of each data set. And for now, we'll turn over to Matt to talk about upcoming releases.
Thanks, Gisela. Yes, I'd like to quickly just talk about some of the future releases and upcoming changes. So focus first on the platform. Something that we'll be bringing out very shortly is high resolution maps. So at the moment, we don't have what we call dynamic color ramps. So when you move the map around, you don't get an update in the colors and how we show the actual apparent fishing effort or vessel presence on the screen. That will shortly be drastically improved, and you can see the difference there at the top of the screen. These much more detailed maps allowing you greater insight into actual kind of where there are significant areas of activity and where you may want to focus any kind of enforcement activity or understanding better what might be going on or what kinds of fishing or activity is taking place in a certain area. With that change comes the ability to show specific vessel positions. So in certain short time ranges and high zoom levels where it might be more useful to see not a heat map, but actually specific vessel location, we'll be providing that ability as well as we load on this kind of new technology infrastructure into the map. We'll also be adding fleet level insights. So earlier I spoke about those vessel insights when you're in a profile, seeing specific pieces of information around a vessel that may be interesting and useful for your work. We're going to be bringing in the ability to map those insights across fleets or groups of vessels as well. So you can start to load more information about a group of vessels and then filter down to see specific ones that you're interested in, ones that have been certain or active in a certain area or time, and get a more focused view of the vessels that you actually care about and want to follow up either with or on, depending on what your work is. And lastly, we're looking to support improved vessel identity information. We're always looking to add more public sources of information that we can corroborate our vessel identity information with, ultimately to get a better, clearer picture of who a vessel is, where they're from, and all of the information and authorizations that we can provide to build a better, more clearer picture of their activity. I'll pass to Gisela to talk about future releases for APIs.
Thanks, Matt. So as mentioned during the presentation, one of the releases that are coming are the GFWR updated with the version 3, which means that we will have more vessel types because we are using a different data set. You will have possibility to send custom polygons in the events API. And this is just some of the examples that were added with V3. We will also have the SAR, the synthetic aperture radar vessel detection dataset. This is something that is available on the map, and we want to make it available on the API and the data downloads. The idea is that this will be updated up to 72 hours ago. We will also add the IES present. This is something that we got several emails and requests from our users because currently we are just displaying having the fishing effort. With the IES presence, we will have the activity from different vessel types, also available in both the API and the data download portal. And also the SAR fixed infrastructure dataset, also part of our last Nature paper, with updated information. And as I mentioned before, it's really critical for us to receive your feedback. So if you see something on the map or any of our platforms that you would like to see on the API, our package or data download, send that an email to support because we use a lot that feedback to prioritize. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anna, Matt, and Jamila for the detailed presentation today on the range of products available to our users. It's been great discussing these topics with you. If there are any further questions that we haven't addressed today, or please feel free to reach out to our email, and in the previous slide it goes by support@globalfishingwatch.org. Again, I'd like to say thank you all for joining, and we hope you found today's session informative and engaging, and we look forward to seeing you at our future webinar. Also look out for more of our events on our social channels, and yeah, let's stay connected. Thank you all.
Thanks.